Hello, welcome back to the Barista Witch channel. It is me, Misha, your Barista Witch, here to give you the cosmic tea. And you see the title of the video, Mercury Retrograde. The feared planet that goes retrograde. Mercury's in the microwave. Mercury has micro braids. Mercury's drinking haterade, all these things. But what does it actually mean? How does it affect you? And what are some things that you can do to counteract some of the effects? That is what we will be discussing in today's video. So sit back, relax, grab your coffee, grab your tea. Cheers to you. So first and foremost, this Mercury retrograde will be taking place February 26th until March 20th, right before the first day of spring. So about a month of this fuckery. Mercury retrograde usually is about 3 weeks. Mercury, the planet, is seen as the messenger of the gods because second to the moon, Mercury has the fastest orbit around the sun. It travels very fast. And if you look at images of Mercury, often Mercury looks like Hermes, but has like the little wings on his feet, like he's the messenger of the gods. The term mercurial comes from Mercury. It signifies rapid changes and being unpredictable. So retrogression or retrograde occurs when a planet appears to move backward as observed from Earth. And as you can see here in this stellarium view, this is the planet Mercury moving throughout the solar system, and it's currently in Aquarius. However, it's gonna do a little loop-de-loop and then it's gonna continue on. So not only does it appear to move backward, it does literally move backwards as observed from Earth. And this is a chance for us to slow down and reflect. We are called into a period to renew, reassess, and reimagine the areas of our life governed by the retrograde planet. So, and I will be doing a 3-card pull for your rising sign. Some common themes of Mercury retrograde are communication challenges. Mercury is the planet of communication and speech. So be prepared for misunderstandings and miscommunication. So if you see that someone's getting a little temperamental, just slow it back. Like, don't even stress about it. Mercury's also with the planet Rahu, which is this like trickster planet. It's with Venus, so it may involve love and relationships. It's with the sun, there'll be some heat, lots going on. Technology glitches. Make sure you back up all of your files. Save anything that you've been working on. Double check that your email has the attachment, that you're sending it to the right person, that you're sending it to the right text. Maybe if you're traveling, save your maps. If you're doing Google Maps, save that location because it is a tricky time revisiting the past. So literally exes will pop back up. This is not the time to get back with your ex. We don't honor retrograde relationships here in this coven, and try to renew plans. So instead of doing something new, like launching a brand new business or signing a contract, getting married, signing a lease, something that's like long-term, focus on something that's more short-term. Focus on things that you can actually renew, reevaluate. So for example, if you're a writer, instead of writing something new, try to go back and look at the text that you have, edit it, review, revise. Expect travel delays, so give yourself some time to get from point A to point B. All of a sudden there's fucking construction, there's an accident, the train is doing the, give yourself, I'm not even joking, a 20 to 30 minute buffer, especially if you're going to the airport, okay? And this is just a time to really be mindful. So cultivate mindfulness and try to really utilize clear thinking to avoid errors. And if you want more information, you can head over to my website. There's all sorts of goodies for Mercury retrograde over there. Patience, the bobcat and the blackthorn. So as always, I will read from the booklet and then we shall get into it. Bobcats are stealthy hunters blending easily into their environment. They are independent creatures who can wait for hours for their prey, pouncing up to 10 feet at the right moment. The blackthorn is a thorny shrub covered in bittersweet berries called sloes. Associated with overcoming obstacles, the blackthorn's sharp spines provide shelter to vulnerable birds. According to lore, if blackthorn berries are plentiful, the coming winter will be severe. Traditionally harvested in late autumn, sloes provide nourishment in the form of jams, wines, and other hearty treats with which to patiently pass the harsh winter. A difficult journey ahead requires preparation and patience. Channel the bobcat's stealth and pack plenty of provisions. Ration your sustenance carefully, remembering that berries are often sweetest after a hard frost. Yes. And this retrograde, we can expect some difficulties to arise because not only are you experiencing Mercury retrograde and all of the kerfuffle that comes with it, but so are other people in your life. And depending on where this retrograde is, what house it's in, it could affect your career, your love life, your speech, your exercise. Have some patience, because other people will also be Looney Tunes. The sheep and the blackberry, devotion. And I like that we have blackberry, blackthorn. It's giving Black History Month. The sheep and the blackberry calls us to focus on our commitments, whether they're to a partner, a job, a creative practice, or a spiritual tradition. Sheep are innocent and vulnerable and must be watched over and guided. Blackberries are symbols of protection with their large brambling thorns. Their abundant fruit also symbolizes prosperity. Combining the energies of the two gives us a direction. Honor our promises, allowing them to fruit and flourish. In what people or practices do you find wisdom and stability? Remember to care well for these sources of guidance and protection. So we have another theme of being protected, of honoring something in your life. And I think that's very important during Mercury retrograde, when things seem so up in the air. And maybe you honor and protect and devote yourself to protecting your peace. Mercury retrograde provides a lot of mental and emotional, maybe even some physical, spiritual uncomfortability. You have exes popping back up in your life. People at your job are trying you. Maybe you're running late, your phone broke. It's a lot of taxing energy. So devote yourself to your peace and devote yourself to responding rather than reacting, and keep your energy protected during this time. Graceful persistence. The hawk is a keen and vigilant observer, so much so that watchful and hawk-eyed have become synonyms. An apex predator, the hawk glides gracefully on the wind, its sharp talons ever at the ready. The thistle can thrive in a variety of environments, from verdant hills to rocky shores. Its spiked, stinging leaves protect its radiant flower, which perches like a crown upon its stem. You can act fiercely while maintaining your grace and dignity. Sharpen your talons, but don't lose your crown. Excuse me. Another third theme of something sharp that symbolizes protection. So one common message that I'm obviously getting right now regarding this Mercury retrograde transit is to protect your energy, protect your time, protect your space, protect your home. Maybe this is a time when you don't really allow other people into your house. Maybe you don't go out as much. This is a time for you to just pause and reflect and really think about the areas of your life that maybe need a little bit more protection. Like if you've been going out a lot, spending money, being around people who drain you, being in a work environment that drains you, this is the time to protect your energy. There's something that needs to be protected during this time. And in Jyotish, in Vedic astrology, Mercury represents the buddhi, the intellect. So protect your mind during this transit. So let's see what other energies we have. Ooh, some cards fell, girl. Do you see what fell out? So the Tower card has fallen out. So I was wondering, honestly, when the Tower card was gonna show up again. At least it matches my nails. But the Tower card, honestly, is the release of attachment, which, yep, definitely this Mercury retrograde, when it's time to recess, revise, edit, go through things. This isn't the time to bring more items into your life. This is the time to edit, to downsize, to let things go. The Tower card shows up to remove what did not belong to begin with. In the traditional iteration of this card, there is a crown that's falling off of the tower in the image. And that's to symbolize that the crown didn't even belong on top of a building anyway. It looks super weird. This is purification, clearing the way. And regardless of the method, the illusion must and will be shattered. The Tower card shows up to clear away any negativity in your life by burning away pride and ego, to make way for, honestly, a spiritual evolution. Last week was crazy. We had literally a fucking solar eclipse, the Chinese New Year, Ramadan, Lent, and that was the first time that that's happened in like hundreds of years that all of those days align together. And I definitely have been seeing like clearing away of old energies and people letting go of things that no longer serve them. The Tower card shows up to represent sudden change, which definitely is part of Mercury retrograde. It shifts things in our life. Mercury retrograde, it changes your thought patterns. It makes you more mindful of your speech, makes you more mindful of your time. Like, okay, so since we know that traffic may be bad, there may be some delays, let me organize myself, get myself together, and leave earlier, pack earlier. This lightning strike here represents a moment of no return, an unexpected upheaval. The Tower card reflects the shattering of life, false pretenses, anything that really just shouldn't even be in your life. It's gotta go. This is a reminder that there's no escaping catharsis. Like anything that you didn't release already in the year of the snake, the Tower card is here to clear this shit out, because the old way that you've been doing things, how you've been managing your money, your time, your sleep, your health, it hasn't been viable. Gotta go, gotta go. The Tower card ultimately represents that things must change. You have to surrender to this intervention without fighting or questioning its purpose. Just know that there's a lesson in it, even if you're like, what the fuck is going on? And this is burning your castle to the ground in order to see new possibilities. Oh my gosh, and then we have more fire, period. And we have the Six of Wands. You will be able to celebrate this victory and this win. The Six of Wands is being recognized for your hard efforts. So if you are devoted to yourself, if you're devoted to protecting your peace, to protecting your energy, not aligning with negative people, thought patterns, habits, ideas that ultimately no longer serve you, you will be celebrated. The Six of Wands shows up as an achievement in reaching your goals, being recognized, and this is being triumphant. After a lot of struggle and difficulty, you can literally like expect good news, good news. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry. But when the Six of Wands shows up, this is a reminder that you have earned this place of success, and you will ride high for some time, but it has to come with you letting things go. And I like how also the flames are like at the top, like this juxtaposition of the flames here and the flames here. Like you really have to let go and you will be rewarded. Have you ever let go of something in your life and been like, oh man, that didn't serve me. Oop, a card fell out. Oh my gosh, the Seven of Wands. And the Seven of Wands fell out reversed. This is my first reversal on the page. I usually don't do reversals, but we're gonna do it because I trust what the universe has to say here. So typically, the Seven of Wands represents overcoming obstacles, maybe making something out of nothing. Like, are you fighting fair or are you creating a bigger deal? But this, when it's reversed, represents decisions that may be made in haste. So notice if you need to pause, take stock of your choices. Remember, Mercury retrograde is about pausing, reflecting, revising, not doing anything out of haste or because you feel like you need to do it or else. That's how we make mistakes, by rushing. So take your time. Okay, this deck has a lot to say. 2 cards have flown out. Tell a lie, 3 cards have flown out. So let's see. Okay, so the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles represents being resourceful, planting a seed in order to manifest something. So during this time, how can you focus on practical and tangible actions to help you achieve your goals? This is creating a realistic plan with reachable goals that you will actually be able to accomplish and ultimately manifest anything you desire. If you make a to-do list for yourself for the day, that realistically it would take more hours in the day to achieve it. That's not being realistic. And then ultimately all that's gonna happen is you're gonna feel disappointed and you're gonna feel like a failure and like you can't do anything. So make small, digestible, actual attainable goals for yourself and chip them away little by little, day by day. Slow progress is still progress. You don't have to rush. You don't have to go all crazy, but this is about having a goal and exploring something new, working hard. Notice if you've been in a period of laziness. Be honest with yourself. Are you working as hard as you need to? You can blame capitalism up until a point. Like, yes, of course, don't overwork yourself and hustle culture can be a lot, And are you actually just being lazy? So you have to find that happy medium for whatever works for you. And that will lead to ultimate happiness. The Ten of Cups represents a happy ending. Your happily ever after. This is having the love and abundance, having a family, being able to actually celebrate with those who you love, being comfortable, content, not having to worry about where you're gonna be paying for this, where you're gonna be living, who is this person. This is having strong emotional health. When you actually take the time to pause and reflect and think about the things in your life that do or don't make you happy, you can start to tune into your emotions a bit more, which helps you tune into your mental health. So trying to find a place of having emotional security. And yes, the Six of Swords. This is one of my favorite cards because this represents that a difficult time is soon to pass you by. The Six of Swords represents moving onwards, better times lie ahead, and getting a way to heal. So the cat is facing away in this card to show you where you're going. The water, which is on this side, is a bit rippled on the right side of the boat and is smooth on the left. This represents transitioning from troubled times into smooth sailings. The calm weather that we see, like it's a little cloudy, but for the most part, you know, it's not storming, it's not windy. This is having a speedy departure. And the Six Swords that are aligned at the front of the boat represent being stuck in the same thoughts that are maybe just constantly at the forefront of your mind. So whatever has been bothering you, person, a place, a thing, your situation, if it's constantly on your mind, just know that you are moving towards finally clearing it out of your space, because this is a mental prison. So you need to move on to have some sort of mental journey for yourself for freedom. Move away from these difficulties. Try to be objective, try to be positive, but you have the power to steer yourself, to steer your mind in the right direction. You have the tools to be adaptable, to choose what's best for you. Swords represents the intellect, the mind, speech, the same as Mercury. Literally the same as Mercury. Okay. I like barely shuffled. So a card has flown out of the deck. We have House Mouse. You know the things you are capable of, but are you confident in leaning into that belief? I have a feeling this is gonna make some people cry. So, as always, I will read from the booklet and then we shall get into it. Keywords of House Mouse: I can do it, confidence, assurance, fearlessness. Imagine how terrifying it must be for a humble little mouse to move through a house of giants. Furniture must appear like canyons, and pets must feel like monsters. Yet the mouse finds the courage to scurry along and fulfill his quest. Confidence is key when you have pulled the House Mouse card, as you could be moving a lot faster in your own endeavors if you're willing to put yourself out there. Courage is often misrepresented as a lack of fear, when really it means being afraid of something and doing it anyway. If you believe in yourself, then others will also. If your question is about the birth of a new project, love interest, or phase of life, then receiving this card is a good omen of a successful outcome. House Mouse could also mean you're receiving a lot of attention and should make the most of it. So, my loves, where do we need a little bit of more confidence? Maybe part of the Tower card, part of removing that thing that didn't belong to begin with, is removing imposter syndrome, removing any doubt, any fear, anything that's holding you back, procrastination, lack of motivation. You have to believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, who else is going to? Sometimes, oftentimes, you are your number one and sometimes only cheerleader for certain things in your life, especially for projects that you're keeping kind of close to you that you don't tell other people about. You have to be the person who holds it down for yourself and be in the corner, rah, 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 cheering you on. Maybe that maybe involve a sleepless night here or there. You know, don't burn yourself out or anything, but be confident in yourself and put yourself out there. This is not the time to play it small. Like, is Rihanna self-conscious? No. Is Beyoncé someone who lacks confidence? No. There's this quote that a good friend of mine says, nothing changes if nothing changes. So do it anyway. Do it scared, Do it courageously, but do it. Do something, because nothing changes if nothing changes. Your life is going to stay the same humdrum, routine, mundane thing that may be making you unhappy if you don't change something. So doesn't have to be something crazy like moving to a different country. It could be a 1 degree shift. Like if you're in a boat and you just shift your compass 1 degree to the side and you stay on that 1 degree course, give it a week, a month, a year, 5 years, you're in completely different uncharted territory than if you would have kept going the course. So take a leap of faith and try something new, even if it makes you scared. Do it anyway. Winter Woodlands, 44. Take the time to honor what you feel. Self-compassion is the healing balm you desire. And especially since this is coming right next to the 6 of Swords, I'm quite certain we got this card in our last reading. So the universe wants whoever this is for to get a little bit extra love in here. Heart healing can feel a lot like being in a winter woodlands. And this landscape, it can seem like time is standing still and the pain you are facing will be with you forever. Healing is never simple. And oftentimes you may not even know you're in a healing phase until you've made your way out. You may be ready to give up and shut yourself off from anything good that is attempting to come into your life, but you have pulled this card to tell you that healing is happening for you. Do not feel any pressure to heal your heart in any particular way. Sometimes it may feel like you're going in circles, passing the same emotions and feelings time and time again, but you must trust that you are headed in the right direction. We did get this card because I remember going, headed in the right direction. Who knows the song? Drop it in the comments. Be gentle with yourself in the coming weeks, allowing yourself to feel what you're feeling without trying to change. You can still love someone, even if they've hurt you, or grieve for something, even if other people don't understand why. That doesn't mean you're silly. It means you are human. Don't worry, the frost on your heart will thaw and spring will find you again. Have graceful persistence. Embody the winter woodlands energy and also embody the 6 of Swords energy. Healing is on the way. There is no timetable for healing. It takes as long as it's gonna fucking take. Like, there are some situations that you may grieve your entire life. Seriously, and that's just what it is. Like, there is no timetable for how you manage the hardships in your life. I think for me, just living through life of having loved and lost, etc., is sometimes that grief just becomes a little part of you, but you don't let it like consume you to the point where it's debilitating and like you can't get out of bed, you can't function, you can't take care of yourself, you know, you can't keep your body or your home clean. You know, when it starts to interfere with your relationships with other people and your health, that's when it's like, okay, maybe involve, maybe even a professional, you know, like a grief counselor, but take your time, journal about it, journal about your grief, journal about what's going on, and take the time. So we have the Sentinel, determination and certainty. A figure stands at the gates, faceless in their armor, hidden by their great shield. The Sentinel is the pinnacle of guardianship. They know the value of what they protect. Here's that word, protection again. They know the value of what they protect and what they will give in order to keep it safe. They have their orders and they will not leave their post no matter what comes to pass. The Sentinel is a representation of extreme focus, of security and knowing your position and purpose in the world. It may feel as though forces have been conspiring to tempt you away from your goals, but do not let yourself be swayed. Balance unexpected situations with rational thought, and the outcome will be worth 100 times any distraction that might befall you. Yes, this is very much ignore the crazy bullshit that Mercury retrograde brings. Stay focused on your goals, stay determined, stay tenacious. Embody the house mouse. This card says, you know the things you are capable of, but are you confident in leaning into that belief? And when you do that, you will be victorious. This 6 of Wands energy here, celebrating your wins. You have to protect your goals. Maybe that even means like, you don't tell people what your goals are. You just simply pull a Beyoncé and just do it. And people will know that you did it once we see the results. So protect your goals and stay at it. Be determined. Ooh, and then we have the Brawler. Okay, so keywords for this card are lack of empathy and confrontation. Okay. Night falls thick and dark across the streets, but not all are sleeping. The doors of the music hall pour light and warmth into the courtyard, and revelers tumble, drunk and rowdy after them. A spilled drink, a sharp word, and a fight breaks out. And the brawler is once again standing with fists raised, ready to fight their corner. Set on showing the world that they don't care what people think of them, the brawler invites confrontations wherever they go. Quick with a brash retort and ready fists, their bullheaded manner makes only enemies, never friends. You won't be able to move forward until a current conflict is resolved. Whether you're in the right or not, take a moment to step back and reconsider. There's that word that's very profound in Mercury retrograde. Take a step back and reconsider things from an alternative point of view. Entering a situation with your fists raised won't resolve things. Exercise a little empathy and plan out a way to address the matter on neutral ground. Accept this chance to improve yourself without carrying forward any malice towards others. Oh, I like this card. And literally take the time to honor what you feel, moving past some hardships. The Seven of Wands also, when it's upright, it represents conflict, defending your ground, being in some sort of disagreement with people, having to fight, prove your point, defend yourself. Like that's a lot of this energy. But have you ever met someone who's just always like ready to argue? Not even the glass is half empty energy. They were like, the glass is empty, cracked with a hole in it, burnt, like just very negative. And anytime anyone like said anything to them or spoke to them, it was like a conflict. And it's very difficult to be around that person. It's like being around someone who's in a perpetual bad mood. So notice if maybe like there's a certain situation, maybe it's at work, you know, like when you walk into work, do you always just feel like tense and anxious and, you know, like you need to defend yourself? Is it when you're around certain people? See what it feels like to start changing your mindset. Like if you don't have the opportunity to leave jobs at the moment, see what it's like to modify your mindset. See what it's like to maybe switch career paths over time. Maybe you don't hang out with that person anymore, but see what happens when you switch things up a little bit, because it's not sustainable to constantly bicker and fight. Like it wears down your mind, your spirit, like your energy. It's toxic behavior, honestly, and it doesn't serve anyone. All it does is put you in harm's way some more. So do your best to like get out of that mindset. Okay, my loves, so this is the first part of this spread. I will now clear this away and I will go through rising sign by rising sign to see exactly what other messages this Mercury retrograde has in store for us. So if you want, I have it linked in with this video, how to calculate your rising sign using the Vedic tradition. Please use that sign. You can also use it for your big three. So you can watch the recordings for your sun, for your rising, for your moon, watch them all. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being Cafe Coven. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next part of this spread. Hello, my rising Aries babies. This Mercury retrograde will take place in your 11th house in Aquarius for a rising Aries sign. Aquarius is your 11th house, and the 11th house represents your elder siblings, friends, your legs, easy gains like financial gains, your wealth, your income, money that you get from friends, gifts, desires and their fulfillments, your hopes and your wishes. And this Mercury retrograde is going to be a little intense because there are so many planets that will be conjunct with Mercury. Mars, the sun, Venus, and the north node of the moon, Rahu, will all be with Mercury retrograde. So we're going to do a 3-card spread. The first card will represent your current situation. Whatever it is that you're worried about, the current situation. The second card will be what you shouldn't do, what you're focusing on in the past. That's what you shouldn't do. The third card will be the future, what you should do to get there. So let's see. The current situation, the Queen of Pentacles. What a lovely current situation to be in. Pentacles represents finite things such as your time, your money, and the Queen of Pentacles is the ultimate homemaker. So maybe decorating your home, your current situation, maybe you just moved, This is creativity, slow earth energy, being very passionate about something, the queen of self-care. So your current situation, rising Aries, seems to be good. And honestly, having this Mercury retrograde occur in your 11th house is really positive. The 11th house aspects the 5th house of creativity. So let's see the second card, things that you should not do. What's in the past, leave it there for this Mercury retrograde. Oh! I'm gonna say that this is positive for you though, the World. Well, okay, so let's see, because the World card is like one of the most positive cards, so not sure how this represents what you shouldn't do, but we're gonna roll with it. Let me refer to my notes. So the World card is the ultimate card of completion. This is celebrating that you've completed a hard task. This is the culmination of your hard work and your sacrifices. Everything is available to you. So maybe celebrating a win a little early, maybe thinking that you have something in the bag or thinking that you can rest and be complacent. The universe is maybe telling you, don't get comfortable, revise, re-edit. Those are some qualities of Mercury retrograde. Instead of producing new work, look at the things that you already have. The World card represents a satisfying end of an era. So leave things in the past. This is in addition to things you shouldn't do. This is the past. So if the World card represents a chapter closing, the ending of a cycle, leave it in the past. Let it go. Don't harbor on it anymore. Whether it's a former landlord or neighbor who is a piece of shit, a job, a coworker, a lover, an ex-friend, leave their asses in the past. And let that chapter really be closed. The World card is the culmination of something being done, so let it be done. And then we have the Six of Wands. You will be victorious. You will be celebrated. You will be recognized. And the 11th house is literally a house of recognition, awards, achievement. And that's quite literally the Six of Wands. Recognition, awards, and achievement. And this card here, the third one, represents your future. What a lovely spread for you, my Aries babies. I hope this is helpful. Honestly, it seems as if you were already on the right track, which I mean, Aries, you are fiery as fuck, of course. Like, you know the direction that you should be going. You know your path. Just keep doing what you're doing, but really try to leave things in the past. Don't focus too much on negative things. Take this time to really make your home your space. Make your home like the best place, the best energy for you, for your environment, and don't worry too much about like outside noise or outside sources or people, and leave things, leave chapters that have ended, leave them in the past. Don't focus on it, don't harbor on it. Don't keep bringing that energy into your future. Like when you do your acceptance speech, are you gonna be thanking the haters? No, thank the people who helped you along the way, and thank you yourself for your own hard work. So thank you, my Aries babies. I love you. Drop a little, drop a little bunny emoji in the comment section if you made it to the end of this video. And I do also recommend that you watch your big three. So watch your rising sign for being a rising Aries, watch your sun sign, and watch your moon sign. Watch your big three, specifically in the Vedic tradition if you can, and drop all of those emojis in the comments to let me and others know that you got your fix. All right, thank you so much. I love you. Bye-bye. Hello, my rising Taurus babies. This Mercury retrograde will be taking place in your 10th house of career, of work, CEO, boss, status, your reputation, your honor, authority, your professions, business, great achievements, great projects. This is a very, very important house in general, but very important for our rising Taurus babies, because there's a lot of planets happening here. Mercury, Venus, the sun, Mars, the north node of the moon, Rahu. So let's see what the first card, your current situation is. The Five of Pentacles. Oh my gosh. And this is crazy that this is with your career, because the Five of Pentacles represents a bit of a financial struggle. Pentacles are finite things such as our time and our money. So the Five of Pentacles represents challenges, maybe financial hardships, or even feeling like an outcast, possibly excluded by your friends or social circles or groups. When this card shows up though, I want you to know that you should move on from those friend groups, which maybe even feeling like an outcast a bit at work. you know? Feeling like you don't fit in with your team or the environment just isn't really resonating with you. I 100% understand and I feel that and I get that. The Five of Pentacles ultimately appears to warn of financial hardships and maybe not using your money properly. So pause and take stock of your finances. How are you spending it? Mercury retrograde is the perfect time to revise. How are you spending your money? Maybe go through, see if you are locked in on any subscription services that you thought you actually were done with. Unsubscribe from some things. Maybe you don't need subscriptions to multiple streaming services. Like if you have Hulu and Disney and Paramount and Peacock and Netflix and HBO, like that's 6 right there, which that's 50 to 100, like that's a lot of money. That's a lot of fucking money. So maybe go check in on that. Now the next card is what we should leave in the past and what we should not do regarding this situation. And maybe it's also working in a career path, this Five of Pentacles, that you really shouldn't be in. The King of Wands. Okay, Wands represents passion, fire, energy, creativity. And the King of Wands literally represents going after what you want and not fucking around, not playing any games. The 10th house is the CEO, the boss, the king. So in your career path, this Mercury retrograde, go after what the fuck you want. This is a time to revisit your career goals, revisit what you can actually do to move yourself forward. Notice if you keep making these like lateral moves of going to the left and just shifting. The King of Wands is showing up to let you know that you need to meet your fullest potential. This is in the past, what you shouldn't do or what you aren't doing. You're not taking control of the situation. You're allowing other people to boss you around. It's time for you to lock in, because if you don't have passion for anything, that will be reflected in your craft. So you have to have passion for it. You have to actually lock in. Ooh, this card is what you should do. Yes, we have the Knight of Swords. Swords represents our thoughts, our words, our intellect, and the Knight of Swords is being cunning, being decisive, being very intense, shaking things up, and honestly, just speaking your mind unapologetically, being self-assured, and especially in work, especially in business, you need to embody the energy of being self-assured. If someone was trying to sell you something and they were kind of meek and mild and acting like they didn't even believe in it, would you trust them? Knight of Swords energy is cunning, decisive, being very intense, knowing when to take action, you know? So the universe right now during this Mercury retrograde is letting you know your financial situation, your work situation, it's linked to you actually believing in yourself and actually making smart choices, not just doing these lateral moves from just job to job, paycheck to paycheck. Start really locking the fuck in on what you're passionate about and take the actionable steps to move towards it. Thank you, my Taurus babies. Leave a little strawberry emoji in the comment section if you found this useful, and go watch the rest of your big 3. Watch your sun, watch your moon, watch your rising. If you've done that already, watch your big 3. Drop all those emojis in the comments to let me and the rest of the coven know that you made it. I love you. Thank you. Bye. Hello, my rising Gemini. So this is a very particular, interesting transit for you because your rising lord, your Lugnatia, the planet that rules Gemini, is Mercury. So your rising lord is affected. So that means this is even more profound for you. If you are a rising Gemini or even our rising Virgos, the Mercury ruled signs, you feel the Mercury retrogrades more intensely than other people, and or people who have Mercury natally in their first house. So for you, Mercury retrograde will be taking place in your 9th house. The 9th house represents the father, the guru, good fortune, luck, higher education, a deep, deep knowledge, religion, yoga, things of that nature, like some sort of spiritual questing. Could be a really good time to use that Mercury retrograde energy of revisiting, reusing, redoing to maybe revisit your yoga practice, revisit a meditation practice, revisit maybe a conversation with a father or a teacher, revisit a teaching in general. So let's see with this 3-card pull that we're gonna do, how this energy will affect you. So this first card represents your present situation, what's currently going on. We have the Nine of Wands. So Wands represents fire. This is intense energy, creativity, passion, and the Nine of Wands represents transformation, breaking barriers, moving into a new space, pushing past your comfort zone into new territory. And when you do that, being able to gain some wisdom. So the bandage on this head of this character is a reminder that every wound carries a lesson. And we are just entering that, look at that horse, look at that horse, look at that horse, look at that horse, the year of the fire horse. If you know the song, drop it in the comments. But this is literally breaking past barriers and knowing that all the lessons from the year of the wood snake, all the lessons before, like they were just there honestly as teachers. Ninth house represents teachers. So looking at any sort of past experiences or difficulties as a lesson. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And the Nine of Swords represents being brave and sticking up for yourself. So this is your current situation. Let me know if that resonates at all. But moving through difficulties with focus, yeah. And especially Mercury retrograde, when it's a time to revisit, rethink, maybe you journal, look back at the past hardships that you've had to overcome and try to find one lesson. Even if it's like, okay, for example, you in a relationship with just like the definition of a piece of shit. What was the lesson there? Because it's very easy to be victim and be like, boo-hoo, woe is me. But it's even more difficult, but even more important and honestly, oh yes, profound to actually reflect on the past and see what happened. So this card represents the past and what you should not do. And this is very interesting because the Star card typically represents being vulnerable, freedom, soul opening. So maybe in the past, you've been very, very easy to share details of yourself with other people, maybe a little bit of oversharing. Perhaps you were just a little too vulnerable too quickly, which there's nothing wrong with that until it is, because while you may see it as an opportunity to bond with someone, to deepen your relationship, some people are fucked up, like truly, and will use those things against you when it's literally just you being authentic and wanting to share. So maybe keep things a little closer to the chest this time around, especially when you've already gone through a lot. You've overcome so much. Maybe you get a journal. Maybe that's something you can revisit. Tell it to your journal if you really want to share things with people. This is the past, which you shouldn't do. So it's time to just be a little bit more mindful with how much you share with other people. Keep some things close to the chest. I don't know what the fuck Beyoncé eats for breakfast. I don't know where she and her family vacations unless paparazzi takes pictures. We don't know what her house looks like. Being private is a lost art. It's a really beautiful art and it can protect you. It can protect your energy. It can protect your plans. You don't know what people have in mind. Some people are literally, I love this card. Some people are literally like energy vampires. The Queen of Swords. This third card is your future, what you should do going forward. And I love the Queen of Swords. I identify with the Queen of Swords because the Queen of Swords is that be kind, but take no shit. Swords represents our speech, our intellect, and our thoughts. And the Queen of Swords represents speaking truth, being honest, being very, 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 very direct with people, and being able to deliver truths because you're not afraid of hurting someone's feelings. And it's not that like you're trying to hurt anyone's feelings, never that, but be honest. For example, with like, oh, we shouldn't teach about slavery in school because the children will get sad. They should be sad. The idea of owning another person and everything that encompasses that, it should make you feel bad because then that's a lesson for you to not do that shit to other people in the future. It's a hard but necessary truth. That's the Queen of Swords. You're not doing it to be mean. You're not doing it to be malicious. You're doing it so that you can speak your truth. And there's something called the 4 Buddhist rights of speech. So the 4 Buddhist rights of speech, the first one, is it the truth? Is it the truth? First and foremost, before you even start telling people, is it the fucking truth? Secondly, okay, is it the truth, but is it hurtful? Thirdly, are you the right person to say this truth? Fourth, is it the right time? Sure, it may be honest, it may be non-harming. You may be the right person, but is it the right time? And try to utilize that, this Mercury retrograde. Mercury, one of the key things is speech. Speech, that is what Mercury rules, communication in general, writing, texting, emails. Be very precise and mindful this time around, my rising Geminis. Okay, I love you so much. Please go and watch the rest of your big three. I recommend you do your rising, your sun, and your moon. Drop a sword emoji in the comments to let me and others know that you made it to the end, and add the other emojis for the rest of your big three. I love you so much. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hello, rising Cancer Bibbies. This Mercury retrograde will take place in your 8th house. And the 8th house represents the occult, scandal, inheritance, other people's money, your partner's money, mystery, like ancient skill-based traditions such as tarot, Jyotish, astrology, research, deep research, secrets. Could also be accidents, manipulation, thieves, poisons, black magics, assassins, dangerous things. It's a very interesting house. So Mercury retrograde is a time to revisit, revise. So maybe revisit your relationship with the occult-like things. Maybe getting back into tarot. Are you subscribed at tier 2, the Arcana Academy, where I teach you how to go through tarot? Maybe you want to learn Jyotish, palmistry, something of that nature. It also represents taxes. Tax season is upon us, so maybe you need to revisit and just double, triple check. Oh, we have 2 cards that flipped over. Okay, so we're doing a 3-card spread. The first card represents your current situation, the present. Second card will be what not to do, the past. The third card will be the future and what you should do. So this is your current situation. We have the Lovers and the Page of Wands. Technically this was first, so we'll do it like this. The Page of Wands represents being very, very, very passionate about something in your life. This is being really excited. Maybe you're excited about a love interest, excited about a romance. This is focusing on what thrills you. The Lover's card is pretty self-explanatory. It's a relationship. It's finding compatibility in another person. So these 2 cards go really well together. The Page of Wands also represents focusing on creativity for the sake of creativity, not for just to do it. But notice if your current situation, either if you're in a relationship, are you passionate, are you happy, or are you currently seeking to find romance, depending on your relationship status. So let's see what you shouldn't do, which is interesting because the 8th house, some of the other themes, like it has to do with other people and secrets. Maybe there's some sort of secret with a person who you're interested in, or a secret that may be revealed in your relationship. This is what not to do. The Queen of Swords, crazy because we got this in the previous one. Queen of Swords represents being really, really analytical with your words, really sharp with your words, being cunning, decisive. So maybe you've been a little too harsh with your speech, particularly in terms of your relationship. Sometimes the Queen of Swords energy can be a little bit mean. It's being very blunt and just saying like the truth. We went over the 4 Buddhist rights of speech in the previous reading, which are, is what you're saying truthful? Is it harmful? Are you the right person to say it? Is it the right time to say it? So notice if in the past, maybe you've gotten into a little trouble with your words and maybe being a little too harsh, maybe being a little too intellectual and not softer with your words. And then we have the 10 of Swords. Oh my gosh, this is very interesting. So swords again represents our intellect, our thoughts, our speech. The 10 of Swords is everything is finished, your mind is made up, things are moving forward, the worst is over. This is ending bad thought patterns. Mental turmoil is like finally coming to a standstill. These 10 swords along this creature's spine represent spinal alignment, like if you were getting acupuncture work. So restructure aspects of your life that may have been a little disarray, maybe working on your speech, working on your relationships. It's time to you to focus on moving past a difficult mental problem that may have been occurring. So moving on, especially if it has to do with love or relationships, letting it go, moving into a new chapter. You don't have to approach relationships the same way that you have. Like the Page of Wands is also kind of diving completely in and being so passionate about something. So maybe like a little bit of just losing yourself in a relationship. That's nice until it isn't, you know? So try to use this as wisdom, use it as a turning point. You know, be enlightened, but don't feel self-pity or martyr yourself depending on what's going on. But know that it's time for you to move on from whatever has been plaguing you mentally. Okay, my loves, let's drop a cat emoji in the comments to let me and others know that you are a rising Cancer and or Cancer is in your big three, because you should go watch your big three, your rising, your sun, and your moon. Drop all of those emojis in the comments. Let me and others know. And thank you for being a subscriber. I really appreciate it, and it means so much on my journey to be a full-time witch. I love you, and I will see you next time. Happy Mercury in the microwave. Bye. Hello, my rising Leos. This Mercury retrograde will take place in your 7th house of relationships. Your spouse, your partner, marriage. These are also partnerships that could be commercial. So business partner, for example. And Mercury retrograde needs to revisit, revise, redo, just re. So maybe you need to reevaluate a business arrangement you have. Maybe you need to reevaluate being in a relationship, or reevaluate how you've been moving about in that relationship. So maybe you renegotiate the chores at home or something of that matter, but it's time to address the partnerships in your life, whether they are romantic or business. And if you're single, maybe it's time for you to revisit, revise how you approach dating and relationships, especially if you seek partnership. So we're doing a 3-card spread. This first card represents your current situation in the present moment. The sun, and Leo is ruled by the sun. So your current situation is good. And if you're like, no, it's not, Misha, I'm sad and alone and I'm lonely. You don't want to be in a relationship just for the sake of being in a relationship. You feel me? Because there are plenty of people dating people, married to people, but they're not fucking happy. So your current situation, whether you are happily in a relationship, is blessed up. Let's go. Or if you are single, being single is better than being somewhere that you don't want to be, or being somewhere that you are not wanted. Trust and believe. It is a time to work on yourself, to grow. When the sun card shows up, it wants you to also to revisit your youthful, childlike joy and wonder. Oh, a card is flipped over. Strength. The second card for our 3-card spread represents what we're not going to do, what we used to do in the past. So the strength card represents having strength, but not in like an authoritative type of way. It's allowing the lion to be putting in your hands, not needing to force your energy or force your will on someone. So perhaps you've been a little bit too strong in the past when it comes to your relationships, when it comes to your partnerships. That isn't to say that you suddenly turn into a, pushover and you allow people to treat you however you want for the sake of being in a relationship. That's goofy behavior. We're not doing that. This is more allowing your strength to protect you, but not to dictate how you actually engage in a relationship. So maybe you're a little bit too strong. Grab my strong arm. Maybe you need to soften a little bit. And especially if you've been hurt in the past, it's very easy to be a little bit on the defensive and be a little bit firm and strong with people. But the universe wants you to know that it is time to leave that strength in the past, leave that being tough in the past, and allow yourself to be held. Allow yourself to enter your, divine soft girl era and be held. Allow your partner to pick up that strong role, Oh my God! First of all, the fact that you got 3 major arcana is crazy. That's actually insane. Also, not the card matching my nails. So the Devil card. The Devil card, the 3rd card of the spread, first of all, represents what we're going to do. The 3rd card represents the future. And the future is that unless you fight against your urges in relationships and actually use some intellect, you will end up with the same type of partnership that you've always been in, the same type of relationship. someone or something that's really just not good for you. The Devil card represents indulgence, illusion. This is losing sight of reality, especially during a Mercury retrograde. It's easy, especially, I wonder if this is applicable for you, Leo babies, letting an ex back into your life. You're happy. You're happy. This is the future. If you think that your ex has changed, no, they haven't. Especially if they reach out to you during Mercury fucking retrograde. No, exes love to run it back. If you slip into a period of complacency and not really being honest with yourself, it could lead to some hardships in your relationships and your partnerships. You have to go deep to face your own faults. You have to be really honest with yourself, confront your raw desires, and see if they're actually helpful for you. The Devil card ultimately wants you to know that your desires and just falling into temptation, those are the things that hold you hostage. So notice if you're falling for people or relationships, partnerships, that it's more passion and thrill, but not actually lasting, sustainable relationships. Okay? This was intense. Drop the devil emoji in the comments. Let me and others know that you are a Leo or you have Leo in your big three. I'm also running right now a quick little snow day special. If you use snow day as a promo code on my website, thebaristawitch.com, you get 44% off any of the readings. Maybe you do the love reading, okay? I love you so much. Watch the rest of your big three. Watch your sun, your rising, and your moon. Drop all of those emojis in the comments and let me know. All right, bye. Hello, my rising Virgo babies. So this Mercury retrograde will really affect you because your Lugnatia, your rising lord, the planet that rules your first house, Mercury, is retrograde. It's in the microwave, drinking haterade with micro braids, etc., etc. And this particular Mercury retrograde will be taking place in your 6th house, because for a rising Virgo, the 6th house is indeed Aquarius. And the 6th house represents your routines, your daily habits, your rituals, your morals and ethics, your diet, your exercise, things of that nature. This also represents obstacles, potential injuries, enemies, competition. So Mercury retrograde is a time to revisit, revise. So maybe revisit some of your routines, some of your day-to-day. Do you need to restructure your sleeping habits? Do you, we had some cards flip over. Do you need to restructure what time you go to bed, what time you wake up, your diet, your exercise? Do you need to come up with a different fitness plan and or diet or routine to achieve your ideal health and wellness goals? So the first card, or I guess these are gonna be, oh my gosh, I already saw a little bit what the bottom card was. The 2 cards fell out. And what I'm gonna do is give you a 3-card spread. So the first card will represent your current situation and what's happening in the present moment. The second card will be the past and the things that you should just like let go of, not do. And then the third card will be the future and the things that you should do. So the first 2 cards of your current situation, what you should do, are the Justice and the Devil. So let's talk about the Justice card first, yeah? The Justice card represents educating yourselves on all aspects of a situation, trying to be balanced and fair about whatever it is. So looking at your current financial situation, your diet, your exercise, your routine, and seeing what you need to do, what you need to bring back into balance. So you want that justice scales, what you need to do in order to bring your life into balance. So evaluate what you are currently doing. And this is karmic resolutions and also checking your inner judge. Notice if you may be a little overly critical towards yourself, a little critical towards others. You need to tip the scales back into balance and be a little bit more gentle. But also your current situation, this is really helpful of what you need to bring into order. We got the fucking Devil card, which represents going after things in your life that actually don't serve you. Specifically, these little grapes here that's on one of the prisoners, that represents overindulging in potentially like drugs or alcohol. So especially since the 6th house is literally diet and routine, if you thought about doing like a dry January or whatever, a dry period of time, consider it. Maybe you cut back on smoking if you smoke weed, if you vape, if you smoke cigarettes. Maybe cut back on drinking alcohol completely, like you get rid of it. And the chains on the little prisoners' necks are loose. They could take them off whenever they want. So this is an obstacle that you're holding yourself back with. It's something that's very much in your control. It's not like, you know, you're in a situation where someone is dictating what's happening. You have the power to change your situation, and you need to bring things into balance. Holy macaroni, Virgos, the fuck? 2 major arcana, okay, I see you. And let's see what you need to let go of, or what's something that you should leave in the past. What is significant about this time that you need to let go of? Virgo babies, maybe you need to book a reading. I am having a little sale for the snow day. If you go to my website, thebaristawitch.com, and you use the promo code SNOWDAY, you get 44% off. 44% off any reading. I'm just doing it for the snow day. Go get the over right now. Ooh, the 4 of Swords. So this represents the past and something that you should leave behind. So the 4 of Swords typically represents a rest that's well earned, and needing your rest in order to get your thoughts in order, quieting your mind, pausing, taking time to reflect. This showing up in the position of the past, and what you shouldn't do is, it's time to move on. You've been resting long enough. You've been, let's be honest, have you been a little bit lazy? Have you been resting a little too much when you know you could be maybe putting your phone down, not being on social media, maybe going to bed a little bit earlier, not staying up too late, maybe not sleeping in? It's time for you to change some habits that are inherently not really good for you. Maybe self-care has gone a little bit too far into just inaction and actually not doing things. So typically it is good to rest. I'm not saying to not rest, but notice if you're resting or if you're being lazy. You know, let's call a spade a spade. No judgment here, just letting you know, maybe it's time to move your booty. So the 3rd card is what energy you should bring and what will help you with your future. What's the future energy of this, my Virgo babies? The Fool. New beginnings. If you actually implement bringing your life into balance, maybe removing some sort of desires or taking the chains off yourself, cutting back on drinking, getting into a nice fitness routine, noticing if you're being lazy, the Fool. This is new beginnings. And this isn't always necessarily knowing the path in front of you, but just putting one foot in front of the other and trusting that you will be guided into the place that you need to be. So whatever this is for your routine, try different things. Maybe you try a dance class, a yoga class, take up boxing, take up running, try a new diet, try a new method of cooking, try switching up what you have for breakfast, try having something savory instead of sweet, or vice versa. Try something new for your diet, exercise, and routines. Well, my little Virgo babies, thank you so much for being here. If you found this helpful, drop a little scale emoji into the comment section to let me and others know that you have Virgo in your big 3. And I strongly encourage that you watch the rest of your big 3, especially being a rising Virgo. This will affect you a great deal. So whether it's your sun, moon, or rising in Virgo, maybe it's all 3. Go watch it. Let me know how it's affecting you. And I hope this helps, and I'll see you around. Bye-bye. Hello, my rising Libra babies. Welcome to how this Mercury retrograde will affect you. This Mercury retrograde takes place in your 5th house. And the 5th house represents creativity, discernment, so being able to make smart choices and smart decisions, your sexual appetite, so to speak, children, being a student or having students, giving and taking advice, and the inclinations of the mind, people who you keep around you, your general counsel, people who help you make good or bad decisions. So let's see what this Mercury retrograde has in store for you. We're gonna do a 3-card pull. The first card will be your current situation, the present. The second card will be the past, something you should let go of. The third card will be the future, what you should do. And since Mercury retrograde is all about revisiting, revising, revamping, redoing, pausing, going slow, maybe you need to revise the people who you keep around you, your general counsel. Maybe revise how you've been creative, especially if you are creative. Of course, my rising Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus, so you probably are inherently creative. Maybe it's time to go back and rewrite some chapters, edit some chapters, look at a painting you did, or you know what I mean? Like, go back through your sketchbook and take inspiration from the things that you used to do. So let's see what the energy of your current situation is, my rising Libras. The Hanged Man. Your current situation is the Hanged Man, which represents seeing something from a different perspective, which is inherently Mercury retrograde. So maybe you were already in this mindset of wanting to see things from a different POV. The Hanged Man represents readjusting and recentering aspects of your life. So maybe you readjust who you keep around you, who you take advice from, who you give advice to. Because sometimes you give advice to people, but if they're fucking hard-headed and they don't want to listen, it's honestly like a waste of time. So don't bother, you know? But the Hanged Man represents change, transition, pausing to really see the situation clearly. So in the present, before you start revising, re-editing, see if maybe, are you even still gravitating towards that particular project? Is it even worth talking to someone and maybe telling someone, oh, maybe your advice isn't the best. Ooh, the Page of Wands, but revise and revisit. So the Page of Wands has fallen out for your second card, which the second card is the past or things that you should not hold on to. The Page of Wands represents the attitude of fascination and excitement. So not holding back on things that you want to do and just really creating for the sake of being creative, not for the sake of profit. So perhaps it's time for you to actually start trying to earn an income, trying to earn a living from what you're doing. The fifth house, where this Mercury retrograde is taking place, it's directly opposite the 11th house. And the 11th house is financial gains that you get from work. The 11th house comes after the 10th house. The 10th house is career. So the 11th house is the money that you get from that career. So since this is in the past, which usually represents creativity for the sake of creativity, not for the sake of profit, maybe it's time you leave that mindset in the past and you start earning income. And it's not like a situation of, oh, I'm selling myself out. Like, use better judgment, use better discernment, you know, and it's time to start earning. You can't be a pauper in the street and be an artist at the same time. I'm sorry, but like the starving artist concept is okay, but like you have a life and you have a roof to put over your head. And honestly, the best career path or profession that you can do is one that you love. And if that means being an artist and charging people appropriately for your creativity, do so and don't feel fucking bad about it. And if someone does make you feel bad about it, fuck them. That's insane. Who is someone to tell you how much you should charge for your creativity and your work? You do it, you make the rules. This card is your future, what you should do. The Three of Wands, more fiery wand-like energy. So the Three of Wands is your plan being in action and cooperating in a creative way. So maybe collaborating with someone in the future on a project. But this card ultimately is good fortune in your future endeavors, specifically future endeavors. And the Three of Wands wants you to trust your instincts. Trust your instincts. Don't try to do what other people say you should do, and don't trust other people's opinions. Especially, very interesting, that the fifth house is like advice and opinions and things that you would get from other people. One of the key words is formation of the cabinet. So like, you know, in a government or in a monarchy, you have a cabinet of people who give you advice. This card is saying in the future, trust your own advice. You can take advice from other people, but ultimately it's trusting your own instinct. This is pushing past challenges, exploring new paths. This is a good lucky omen. Okay, my lovely, lovely Libras, please drop a tree emoji in the comment section to let me and others know that you have Libra in your big three. And please, I strongly encourage you to go watch your big three. So your sun, your moon, and your rising, and drop all of those emojis into the comment section. I hope this helps you, and happy Mercury retrograde. Bye-bye. Guys, hello, my Scorpio babies. So if you are watching this video from the perspective of a rising Scorpio, this Mercury retrograde will take place in your fourth house. And the fourth house represents your home, your manas, which is like loosely translated, your mental and emotional state, your mental health, your mother, your ancestors, your education, your overall happiness, your community. So let's see how this Mercury retrograde will ultimately be affecting your mind, which, yeah, there's a lot also happening in Aquarius. The sun is there. I know Western people are like, we're in Pisces season, we're not. The sun is in Aquarius, Mercury, Mars, Venus, and Rahu, the north node of the moon. So it's a lot on your manas, it's a lot on your mental health. So let's pull some cards to see what energy will be here. The first card for this 3-card pull represents your current situation, the present. The second card will be the past, which you should leave behind, which you should no longer do. And the third will be the future, what you should do. So let's see, what is the current energy? The moon. And it's interesting because the 4th house, the graha that is the karaka, or the planet that is the significator for the 4th house, is the moon, to represent your mom, your mental health, and things of that nature. And the moon in tarot represents trusting your intuition, using your imagination, and knowing that the situation that you're inquiring about, especially since it's like your mind, your mental health, it's in flux. And Mercury retrograde, it does that. It puts the mind in flux. It's a backwards movement of the graha, retrogression, and Mercury represents the intellect, the buddhi. So this is a reminder that nothing is forever, change is constant. So whatever your emotional state is, it's not constant. It's not going to be forever. You also have the ability to modify your mind by focusing your attention on other things. So notice if you're hyper fixating on a situation that's causing your mental health to go down, it's time to change your mind. There's an eclipse in the moon card. Oh, my nails are so cute. There's an eclipse in the moon card, which eclipses represent sudden changes. So this is asking you to embrace any sudden changes. And another note that I have about the moon card is to re-examine your current beliefs about the situation. And Mercury retrograde is all about re-examining, re-evaluating, revising, revisiting, looking at a situation. So that is your current situation, present moment of maybe re-evaluating where you stand. So let's see at what the past was, what you should avoid and no longer do. Let's see what the past was. Ooh, we have 3 cards that flipped out, and I'm gonna take these 3 cards for the past. Okay, girl, okay. Oh, this is very interesting. So the 3 cards that fell out are the 10 of Wands, the 3 of Pentacles, and the 3 of Cups. And I think these go hand in hand with each other, actually, for your current situation. Let's address the 10 of Wands. So the 10 of Wands represents putting your burdens down, giving your body a rest, taking on way too much than you can actually carry, doing too much, holding so much on your back that you're literally bent over, you're in misalignment. That's what you have done, and that's what you should avoid doing. Taking on too much, doing too much, going out too much. The 4th house is your mind, your emotions. That's overwhelming you, doing too much. So this is putting down what's binding you so that you can see and walking away from a situation. And I think it's interesting that these 2 cards showed up with it, because, and also 3, come on, angel number 3. So the 3 of Pentacles is working with other people, and the 3 of Cups is partying and having a good time. So maybe you've been taking on too much, burdening yourself by taking on work that's not yours, and maybe going out too much, partying too much, being around too many people. It's time for you to leave that energy in the past, my Scorpio babies. Stay home, do something for your mind, do something for your mental health. So let's see what the energy for your future, what you should do. Oh, a card flew out, and I'm gonna take this. We have 2 cards flew out. The universe just has things to say to you. So we have the 5 of Swords and the Knight of Wands. Let's first address the 5 of Swords. The 5 of Swords represents remembering the power of your words. And you are a rising Scorpio, Sun, Moon. You have Scorpio in your big 3. You know you can be sharp with your words. You already fucking know this. Like, let's not play games. If you are a rising Scorpio, your 2nd house which is the house of speech and communication, is Sagittarius. That is a fire sign. Yes, it's ruled by Jupiter, but it's a fire sign nonetheless. The Five of Swords shows up to tell you to not pick unnecessary battles, choose them wisely. Notice if you have any self-destructive habits, taking on too many burdens, working with people who you shouldn't be working with, taking on more of the work, partying too much. This is noticing any self-destructive habits that lead to inner and outer conflict with yourself and being done with them. Also, the Five of Swords represents being drawn to drama. And this wants you to never play the victim again. Don't play the victim. Take accountability for your words in the future, because nasty words have real life consequences and karma will come back to sender, okay? So notice if you're playing the victim. My little Scorpio babies, I love you, but watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. And then we have the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands is being very passionate, having no filter, no regard sometimes for hurting others with their single-minded pursuit. And this is potentially your future if you're not mindful of taking control over the situation and releasing some burdens, no longer being around people who no longer serve you. Instead, use this energy to be charming, to be passionate about a certain project, maybe be passionate about your career, since directly opposite of your fourth house where this is occurring is your career. So try to put your passion and your energy, turn it more inwards instead of outwards. And notice if you are a little bit impatient. This is asking you to slow down. Slow down, baby, you're going too fast. Who knows the song? Drop it in the comments. Okay, I love you so much. Thank you. If you made it to the end of this and you have Scorpio in your big three, drop a moon emoji in the comment section to let me and others know that you have Scorpio in your big three, and go watch your other big three, your rising, your sun, and let me know how this is affecting you. I love you so much, and good luck this Mercury retrograde. Bye-bye. Hello, happy Mercury retrograde to my Sagittarius babies. This reading is for if you are a rising Sagittarius, sun Sagittarius, or moon Sagittarius. However, I will be telling it from the perspective of a rising Sagittarius because this Mercury retrograde will be affecting your third house. And the third house represents your siblings, courage, your neighbors, having stamina, great mental and physical strength, valor, prowess, being an entrepreneur, classical and fine arts, performing arts, hobbies, things you do with your hands, so crafts, skills, dexterity, and writing. So we are going to do a 3-card pull to see exactly how this Mercury retrograde is going to affect you. The first card represents your current situation, the present moment, the energy you currently find yourself in. The second card represents the past, what you should no longer do, what you should leave behind. And the third card represents your future, what you should do, the energy that you should engage in going forward. So let's see, what is the first card we have? My Sagittarius babes. Oh, a card has fallen out. The Fool. Let's go. The Fool represents new beginnings, starting something fresh, not necessarily knowing what your next step will be. The path unfolds before you as you take your steps. You have your experiences to help guide you past pattern recognition, trusting your gut, trusting your intuition, trusting your instinct, and approaching something with joy and optimism, knowing that everything will work out. That is the current energy that you find yourself in, which is beautiful. So that's a really good place to be, especially when the third house is being activated, and the third house represents courage and being an entrepreneur, someone who is able to take steps and make bold moves that other people are maybe a little bit too timid to do. Having a fool's mindset when being a creative, when being an entrepreneur, even attaching a fool's mindset to having courage, just believing in yourself and your projects and your self-worth no matter what. That is an amazing place to be. So let's see the energy of the past, the energy that you should leave behind. Ooh, We have the Four of Pentacles, and Pentacles represents finite things such as time and money, and the Four of Pentacles in particular represents identifying with material possessions, So clinging onto something too hard, fearing early success. So maybe literally, this is so crazy that this is for you Sagittarius people, but the Four of Pentacles shows up to tell you that you have what you need. This card often appears to reflect being a bit of a miser. So maybe grasping onto financial resources, grasping onto material possessions. What are you clinging to? Because holding on to something too strongly, you can end up destroying it. The Four of Pentacles shows up to say that your days of scrimping and scavenging are done. You do have financial stability. The traditional meaning of the card, there are two little pentacles underneath the person's feet. And that's to show that you have a nice stable foundation that you can build off of. So that's the energy that you should leave behind. Having maybe an unhealthy relationship with money. Maybe you're finally coming out of that mindset and knowing that there is enough. Maybe being a bit more comfortable with having money. It's a weird environment where in the world, it's like people shame people for having a lot of money. Like, okay, for billionaires, yeah, like Jeff Bezos or whatever the fuck, like he's trying to be a supervillain. He's doing bad things with his money. But if we had someone who was a billionaire who was doing good things with their money, unfortunately, I've yet to see it. They also could be quiet, you know, people, because usually it's assholes that are loud. The good people are usually the ones who are doing it in silence. But if someone were to have a lot of money and they were doing good things with it, we'd be like, hell motherfucking yeah, let's go. There are certain people who have good relationships with money, and maybe that's what you should focus on and highlight, and just try to leave that mindset of having, you know, a negative thought process or unhealthy relationship with money. Leave that in the past, and let's see what is the energy that you should embody going forward. Ooh, girl, the energy going forward. This is the Four of Cups, and we have fours. This is so crazy because I literally just launched a special for 44% off on my website for any readings, because I have constantly been seeing 4 popping up, and here we have Four of Pentacles and Four of freaking Cups. So the Four of Cups represents not seeing what is in front of you. The Four of Cups represents an unseen opportunity. So there is something in your life, maybe it's a person, a relationship, something, but it's right in front of you. You just need to look up. So Mercury retrograde is not a time to bring in new things into our life or try to like sign new contracts, but looking at what you have in front of you and maybe approaching it with this fool's mindset. Maybe like, for example, if you're a writer, going back through some chapters or pages that you've written and revising them, seeing the unseen opportunity in front of you and having a fool's mindset and using that as a means of going forward. And even the Four of Pentacles represents having a stable foundation, but feeling worried and nervous about not having enough. The Four of Cups shows up to ask you to take time to reflect, to contemplate, and pause before taking on new ventures, which that's the definition of Mercury retrograde, and the fact that this is occurring in the third house of entrepreneurship. So before you take on new ventures, you need to reevaluate and take advantage of the opportunities that are in front of you when they present themselves. And ultimately, the Four of Cups shows up to let you know that if you don't take advantage of opportunities that are already in front of you, the universe will take that as a hint and they will become less and less frequent. So don't worry about trying something new or running around. Look at what you already have in front of you and try to approach it with a fresh mindset. So that is the reading we got. If you found this helpful, please drop a key emoji in the comment section to let me and others know that you have Sagittarius in your big three. And I encourage you to watch the rest of your big three, so your rising, your sun, your moon, and leave all those emojis in the comments. Thank you so much. I love you and happy Mercury retrograde. Bye-bye. Hello, my Capricorn babies. If you are a rising Capricorn, this Mercury retrograde will be taking place in your second house. The second house represents speech, truth, food, eating, oral traditions, your wealth, liquid assets, money that you get from family, clothing, gems, but primarily we're gonna go with speech and eating. So let's see what this Mercury retrograde has in store for you. And if you are here because Capricorn is part of your big three, this is also still applicable to you. We're gonna do a 3-card spread. The first card, which has just fallen out, represents your current situation, what is currently happening, the present moment. And we have the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is a card of expansion, creation, and shows up to let you know that now is the time to make your power moves. The Three of Wands is a signal that messages and communications are on the way, which is fucking crazy because the second house is a house of speech and communication. So while the Two of Wands is careful planning to get your affairs in order, the Three of Wands is the execution of that plan. This is you gazing out at the field, seeing what's been done. So maybe you send out your resume to a bunch of people, you email people, you call people, you show up to spaces, you get yourself in front of someone so that you can make things actually happen. And this is ultimately cooperation with your plans. So collaborators and people who are ultimately rooting for your success, which is fantastic because we definitely want to see our plans manifest. So the second card for this 3-card spread represents the things that you should leave in the past, the things you should no longer do, the actions, habits, whatever that no longer serves you. So while you should in the present hopefully be making money moves, trying to communicate with people and network, use speech. This is insane that we got this card, which is all about like networking and putting yourself out there and seeing your plans realized, when the second house of speech is being activated right now. And Mercury is a planet of speech and communication. Wild. Oh girl, leaving behind. Oh, I love this. So you should leave behind the energy that is embodied by the Five of Cups. And the Five of Cups ultimately represents addiction, addictive thought patterns, people, habits, maybe even actually like drug and alcohol. So the symbolism of this card is very important. The character is standing between the cups, and there's this like pathway, these rivers, this bridge in the background. Being inside of the cups represents being too close to the emotions of a situation, and you need to remove yourself, go this distance, cross the bridge to reassess the situation from a new vantage point. And literally here, this character in the traditional card is seen on like a hilltop, like overlooking their plans to see them manifest. The Five of Cups wants you to walk away, and the fact that this is the card that's in the past, what you need to no longer do, you need to no longer cling to situations or be too close to them. You need to walk away and let things go. So notice, again, if you're addicted to thought patterns, people, ways of life, drugs, maybe tobacco, maybe some weed, it's time for you to really ask yourself, like, what is the price that you're willing to pay for this indulgence? This is a point of no return. This is separation and finally a change in your priorities. You're about making money moves. You're no longer being sad girl, sad boy, sad they, them vibes and clinging on to shit that no longer represents you. This is loss, bitterness, frustration, depression, inherited trauma, and that is in the past. We are leaving that behind. And the third card represents the future. What energy you should do, what you should move towards and cultivate in this life, the actual things, the actions that you should try to actually do. We got the Nine of Cups. This is gonna be a bonus Jonas because the Nine of Cups is a wish card. So literally close your eyes and make a wish, because it's thought that whatever wish that you do with this card, that it comes true. The Nine of Cups is a fulfillment card, but it is also a warning of be mindful and careful what you wish for. So don't just wish for a relationship, because really anyone can get into a relationship. Wish for a relationship with respect and kindness, dignity, generosity, patience, honesty, faithfulness, like really be super specific when placing an order form with the universe. The traditional character in this card is a genie, and famously and historically in mythology, genies are tricksters. They play little fucking games, and you can wish for something and they'll be like he, and they'll give you exactly what you ask for. So be mindful. But that's gonna be a bonus Jonas, and we're gonna do one more card to see the energy of the future. But ultimately the Nine of Cups does show up to encourage you to go after what you really want effortlessly and just take those huge steps forward. The cosmos have aligned and it's giving you everything that you've hoped for. Ooh. So we had 3 cards fly out. We have the World card. Hello, completion. You listen, Capricorns, y'all thriving. I want to be you. I want Capricorn in my big 3, okay? This is the World card. This is wish fulfillment, which is also in a line with this wish fulfillment card. The World card shows up to let you know that this is completion, beginnings wrapped up in endings, and just ultimately all of your wishes coming true. The 6 of Pentacles represents being generous, being in a position to actually give to others and being in a position to receive as well. Blessings, good fortune are on the way, and this is about having a perspective and balance. But be mindful, the 7 of Swords represents cutting your losses. So knowing when to take only what you need, leave the rest, make a quick getaway, protect yourself, create boundaries, look out for deception, especially when giving, this won't fit, that's what she said. Especially when giving money to people, if you're in this position, know when to cut your losses and know when to create boundaries. Notice if you're being distracted by shiny objects. Notice if you're getting caught up in drama. Remove what's no longer needed, focus on your goals, and keep it pushing. Well, my Capricorn babies, this is the reading that we got. If you found this helpful, please drop a world emoji in the comment section to let me and others know that you are a Capricorn baby and you made it this far. Also drop the rest of your big 3 so that we can see what your cosmic makeup is. I love you so much. Thank you and enjoy the rest of this Mercury retrograde. Bye-bye. Hello, my Aquarius babies. This, especially if you are a rising Aquarius, is very important transit because it's taking place in your first house. There's a lot happening here in the first house that represents your appearance, your body, your health, your hair, your status, dignity, honor, fame, happiness, charisma. So much is influenced by the first house. It's you. It's how people see you. It's the constellation that was on the horizon when you were born. This is also applicable if you have your sun or your moon in Aquarius, but ooh girl, the 5 of Wands showed up. The first card for this 3-card spread represents your current energy, your current situation, the present moment, what's currently happening in your life. And there is a lot happening. So in addition to Mercury being retrograde in Aquarius, we have the sun in Aquarius. Fuck what the Western people want to say. The sun is still in Aquarius. It does not enter Pisces until mid-March, okay? So you are still here. Mars will be in Aquarius for this retrograde. Venus will be in Aquarius. And the north node of the moon, Rahu, will be in Aquarius. So 5 different grahas or planets will be in this placement. 5s are challenges. The 5 of Wands represents the energy of a crowd all fired up. So it can be positive, where you work together, because if these like little demons stop fucking around and fighting and being in conflict, if they put the wands together, they make a pentagram, which is a 5-pointed star, which is about creation, okay? Combined creativity. But this is ultimately the 5 of Wands, the point in a long-term relationship where the flames of like desire can turn into intensity of anger or fighting, some sort of conflict. So notice if you're just standing strong in your beliefs, even if they're true, don't fight simply for the sake of being right. Listen to other people, try to work together. So that's the energy right now. There's a lot happening on your beautiful little brains. So I feel you, okay? The 5 of Wands shows up to warn you to avoid distraction and drama. If someone wants to start, don't get wrapped up in it. Move on, step aside, don't fall for drama. There's already enough happening in your first house with you and on a cosmic level for you to be stressing and worried about what some crusty, dusty, musty person has to say, causing drama. No, worry about yourself, stay in your lane. So the next card represents the past, what you should leave behind, what no longer serves you. The 3 of Cups, partying and going out. Maybe it's time to stay home for a little bit, lock the fuck in, maybe drinking a little bit too much, maybe smoking a little bit too much, or allowing certain people into your life who may be energy vampires. So it's time to put up a boundary. Notice if you've been indulging a little bit, it's time to take a step back. And if you're like, Misha, I stay at home all the time. There are people watching this who go out all the time. Notice if just in general, it could be being online a lot, giving your energy away to large groups of people. The Three of Cups is just constantly being out and about and spending money, partying, celebrating, having a good time, which is fun. But notice if maybe you're overindulging a little bit. Stay home, drink water, do your laundry, mind your business. This third card represents the future and what you should do. Ooh, girl, the Five of Cups. It is time to walk away from distractions. We literally got this in the previous reading. Walk away from addictive thought patterns, people, habits, booze, smoking. Crazy that this is what the Three of Cups of what we're no longer doing. In the future, it's time for you to get away from a situation because you're too close to the emotions of it in order to move forward. Five of Cups shows up to let you know it is time to change your priorities. You need to not look at your losses as like regret, but instead look at it as a gain. Like, think about when you finally separate from a really bad partner, or you leave a really shitty job where everyone and everything just was terrible. Once you're out of the situation and you have some distance, you have more clarity, you have that hindsight to see that that wasn't for you at all. So the Five of Cups wants you to feel the situation, then let go, release, and take the necessary steps towards peace. My Aquarius babies, this is the reading that we got. If you found it helpful, please drop a mushroom emoji into the comment section to let me and others know that you have Aquarius in your big three. And please go watch your other big three. So watch your rising, your sun, and your moon so you can get some more insights as to how this will be affecting you. Thank you so much. I love you and bye-bye. Hello, my Pisces babies. So this Mercury retrograde will be taking place in your 12th house of dreams, which as a dreamy little Pisces baby, I had to use this dreamy little deck as well. The 12th house is about sleeping and also some very intense things such as like secret enemies and imprisonment, confinement. It's also the house of bed comforts. So in addition to sleep, some sexy time as well, but the ending of things, which is very interesting because Pisces in general represents most of those qualities as well. Dreamlike states and ending of things. So let's see the energy for this 3-card pull of how it will be affecting you. This first card represents the present moment, the current energy of the situation. Let's see how it is going to be affecting you. The moon. You witch, you little Piscean witch. Not you getting the moon. And another Lugna rising sign got the moon as well. Is it part of your big three? I'll scream. This represents that the situation is in flux. These are the ebbing and flowing ideas of the nature. So the current situation that you're in, it's changing. There traditionally in the moon card is an eclipse that represents sudden change. This is asking you to trust your intuition to guide you. Re-examine your current beliefs and reflect upon your dreams. Here's that re word again that comes with Mercury retrograde that asks you to revise, edit, revisit rather than start something new. But trust your intuition and use your inner voice to guide you to make the best possible choices. In this current moment, keep trusting your gut. Notice those instances where you gaslight yourself and you want to start overthinking. Trust your gut, even if it's scary, especially if it's scary. The moon shows up to remind you that nothing is forever. Change is the only constant. So go with your gut. If change is going to happen regardless, go with your intuition. So at least you know you trusted yourself and you went with what you thought was right rather than following in someone else's footsteps. The Six of Cups. So the second card for this spread represents the energy that we should leave in the past and the energy that no longer serves us. So the Six of Cups represents just constantly like thinking about the past, having a walk down memory lane, nostalgia. But notice if you can get maybe too caught up and hung up on thinking about the past, thinking about shoulda, coulda, woulda. It is time to recuperate and return to yourself. Walk away from what no longer serves you. Leave the past in the past, okay? Learn from your past in order to shape your future and trust your intuition. The past is there for a reason. It means it no longer serves you and it's time to move forward. So trust your intuition and move forward, let it go. And the last card for this spread, my Pisces babies, will be the future. What energy you should strive for, the energy that you should manifest and try to take action to bring into the world. So let's see what that energy is. Ooh, a card has flipped over. Yes, the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is passion. The Queen of Wands walks into a room and knows exactly who the fuck she is. This is being confident, creator, commanding the room, being the center of attention, embracing success, not being afraid of a challenge, sticking to your principles, your beliefs, aligning yourself with the present moment, and not being concerned with the past. Literally, I have this in my notes. The Queen of Wands is not concerned with the past by what has happened or by what she has lost. This is insane. So dive deep into your own knowing and really try to embody who you are. And the best way to command respect of a room, to really embrace your most confident self, is to trust your intuition, okay? And you are a Pisces. You are intuitive as fuck. So my loves, if you are a little Pisces baby, let's drop a sunflower emoji into the chat to let me and others know that you have Pisces in your big three. And please go watch the rest of your big three, your rising, your sun, your moon. Drop all of those emojis in the comments and let me and others know. I love you so much. Thank you for being part of the Coven, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.